Ambassador Marcus Chen adjusted his simple black suit as he entered the Grand Assembly chamber of the Galactic Council. The crystalline walls stretched impossibly high, refracting light from dozens of suns into prismatic rainbows that danced across the chamber. Representatives from 237 species filled the tiered seating, their varied forms creating a living tapestry of scales, fur, chitin, and stranger anatomies still. At the center of it all sat the High Arbiter's Circle, 7 beings who had ruled galactic affairs for over 3 millennia. Their collective gaze fell upon Marcus with barely concealed disdain as he approached the speaking platform, his footsteps echoing in the sudden silence. "So," rumbled Krax the Mighty, his forearms folded across his armored chest, "the infant species finally sends a representative. Tell us, little human, what trinkets do you bring to beg for membership in our council?" Laughter rippled through the assembly. The Zephyrian delegates' crystalline form chimed like breaking glass. "Perhaps some primitive art, crude metallurgy? We've seen your kind's achievements." Marcus reached into his briefcase, a worn leather thing that looked laughably antiquated amid the floating holographic displays and quantum storage devices surrounding him. Several delegates exchanged amused glances at this confirmation of human backwardness. "Honorable arbiters," Marcus began, his voice carrying clearly through the chamber's acoustics, "I come bearing something far more valuable than trinkets." "Oh?" Chancellor Vexathera's serpentine neck curved in mock interest. "And what might that be?" Marcus smiled, an expression that didn't quite reach his eyes. "Information." He withdrew a simple datapad from his briefcase and activated it. Suddenly, the chamber's massive display screens flickered to life, showing star charts, shipping manifests, and communication logs. "For the past 18 months, Marcus continued, humanity has been conducting what we call due diligence. We wanted to understand exactly what kind of organization we were seeking to join." The chuckling died away as delegates began recognizing the data scrolling across the screens. Trade routes, diplomatic cables, military positioning, information that should have been classified beyond any newcomer species' reach. "How did you—" began Arbiter Zulun, his insectoid compound eyes widening. "Oh, we have our ways," Marcus replied casually. "Turns out, when you dismiss an entire species as primitive, you tend to underestimate their capabilities. For instance," he gestured, and the display focused on a detailed schematic. "The Vorthak Empire's secret military buildup near the Rigel sector. Fascinating reading, really." Counselor Vorthak's 6 eyes went wide with horror. That information could destabilize his government within days if it became public. Marcus continued his presentation with the methodical precision of a surgeon. The Zephyrians' financial manipulation of the dark matter exchange, the Kraxonian smuggling operations through the Tau Nebula, the systematic suppression of 3 emerging species by the Arbiters themselves, species that mysteriously vanished before they could petition for council membership. The chamber erupted into chaos. Delegates turned on each other, accusations flying in dozens of languages. Several species began demanding explanations from the High Arbiters, who sat in stunned silence. "Silence!" Krax's roar shook the crystalline walls. When order returned, his eyes burned with fury as he glared at Marcus. "You dare come here with stolen intelligence and threaten the council? We will destroy your pathetic species for this." "Insolence!" Marcus's smile widened. "With what fleet?" Another gesture brought up real-time tactical displays showing the positions of every major military force within 50 light-years of Earth. More gasps echoed through the chamber as delegates saw their own defensive positions exposed in perfect detail. "You see," Marcus said, his tone remaining conversational, "while you've been playing your little games of politics and intimidation, my people have been doing what we do best, learning, adapting, and preparing. Did you really think a species that went from horse-drawn carts to faster-than-light travel in just 2 centuries would just stop innovating?" Arbiter Zulun's mandibles clicked nervously. "What do you want?" "Want?" Marcus chuckled. "I think you misunderstand the situation. I'm not here to ask for anything. I'm here to inform you of new management. The data pad in his hands chimed softly. Across the galaxy, human agents embedded within every major government, every trade consortium, every military command structure, revealed themselves simultaneously. The screens showed the scope of humanity's infiltration, not through force but through competence, reliability, and careful planning. 3 years ago, we identified every critical infrastructure system, every economic choke point, every military weakness in Council space, Marcus explained. Not to destroy, mind you, that would be wasteful, but to optimize. Chancellor Vexithera's voice came out as barely a whisper. You've been planning this from the beginning. Planning is such a harsh word, Marcus replied. We prefer being prepared for all contingencies. The truth is, your council has grown complacent, corrupt, inefficient. Under human administration, trade efficiency has already improved by 37% in sectors where we've taken advisory roles. Conflict resolution is up 60%, and not a single ship has been lost to pirates in our patrol zones. The chamber fell silent except for the soft hum of the data streams continuing to flow across the displays, evidence of humanity's quiet revolution. Crack stood slowly, his massive frame trembling with barely contained rage. You cannot simply take over the Galactic Council. Take over? Marcus looked genuinely puzzled. Cracks, my friend, we already have. The question now is whether this transition continues smoothly, with all current council members retaining advisory positions in the new structure, or whether we need to start from scratch. He closed the data pad and returned it to his briefcase. The choice is yours. You have 48 standard hours to decide. The documentation for the new governmental framework will be distributed shortly. I think you'll find our proposals quite reasonable. Marcus turned to leave, then paused. Oh, and one more thing. The 3 species you've been suppressing. We've already made contact. They'll be presenting their petitions for membership next week. I trust there won't be any complications. As he walked toward the exit, his footsteps once again echoing in the stunned silence, Marcus called back over his shoulder. Welcome to the Human Efficiency Initiative. We're going to do great things together. The massive doors of the assembly chamber closed behind him with a soft whisper, leaving 237 species to contemplate their new reality. They had just been conquered by a species that had done it so quietly, so competently, that they hadn't even noticed until it was far too late. In the months that followed, historians would debate whether humanity's rise represented the greatest diplomatic coup or the most bloodless conquest in galactic history. Most agreed it was probably both.